Hello everyone, today I'm trying my Miya Himi gouache on white paper this time. A couple weeks ago I tried it on some mixed media toned gray paper which worked very nicely, and I did swatches on that paper. And this time I did swatches on the white paper to see how it works on that and how opaque the colors are. And in a little while I'll show you what they look like in the two different papers. Now I've noticed that the white swatches are slightly different. I know it's hard to see on white paper, but it seems to me like the titanium white is a little bit more white and the white is slightly off-white. It's very, very faint. You can't really see the difference, but when you hold the paper at an angle, that's kind of what it looks like to me. The black is not quite as deep as the kind of black as I like to have, like the blacks I get with professional quality paint, but it's not too bad. And I noticed that at an angle it kind of shines for some reason, which is weird. I have never seen a gouache that shines. Maybe because it was not as diluted, I'm not sure, but anyway. So I found a reference photo that I liked on the Sketchy app, and this is what I used for my painting today. And I used a Colorino mechanical pencil in red to do the sketch. I went kind of heavy with it, but it's such a creamy lead that I didn't really have a choice, and I'm kind of heavy-handed when I sketch, unfortunately. So when you compare my swatches on the gray paper and the white paper, you see that they look slightly different because of the tone paper, but in general they're pretty similar, I think, which means that they are opaque enough for me. So when I opened my box that I hadn't opened in a couple weeks, I noticed that the paints seemed pretty creamy still. The row in the middle was creamier than the others, and actually that ultramarine blue, you can see that there's even some a little puddle in it. But the colors on the outside started drying a bit, and especially on the ends, because that's where the lid is warped. I'm guessing that's normal because that's where the air comes in. So I think I'm going to start putting a little bit of water in those particular wells and see how it goes, if it prevents them from drying too much. For my first layer, well, it's not really a first layer because I'm adding several layers, but it's my first phase, I guess, of the painting. I diluted the paint quite a lot. Not so much that it looks like watercolor, but enough to make it glide on the paper and to make it nice and smooth and blend very well. I had a hard time mixing the skin tones. Somehow I couldn't mix a tone that looked just like my reference photo, so I kind of struggled with that for a while. And from past mistakes, now I'm trying to really do the dark and the light separately. I don't just do all the darks or the mid-tones and then add the whites over them, but I think this time I didn't do my highlights light enough. So I struggled again with that, but that's okay. So I basically blocked everything, making sure I had my lights, my darks, and my midtones. And then I started adding thicker layers. And again, for the face, I ended up making a weird mix of skin tone. And then I didn't have the right consistency at some point, so it kind of looked weird. And I had a hard time adding more layers. But later on, I was able to fix it, thank goodness. So when I started working on the neck and the shoulders, I finally found a way of doing it with the right colors. And I tried to work the same way on the face again, but it took me a little while because I had put quite a few dark layers on my face. So I had to go over it several times, let it dry, and go over it again and again. So yes, I did struggle a bit. If I use the white on top of the layers to add some highlights and blend a little bit with the layer underneath, it seemed like it was a little bit chalky. So I tried adding the highlights with the titanium white, and I liked the result a bit better. It was not as chalky, and it looked a little bit more natural. In spite of struggling with this portrait for quite a while, I don't think it's because of the paint, I just think it's because of me. I didn't really start the right way, and I'm still pretty much a beginner with gouache. I haven't developed a technique, a go-to technique that is foolproof yet, so I still make a lot of mistakes. Despite that, I still think those paints are fun to use. I'm going to have to use my professional tubes pretty soon to try to get a feel for it and compare them. But I still think it's fun to play with Himi gouache, and I look forward to using them more in my sketchbooks. Again, because I don't know how light fast they are, I'm probably not going to use them for more serious paintings, but for practice, it's just fine. So when I was done with this painting, I sprayed a little bit of water in all the wells, and I hope it's going to help keep the colors moist. We'll see. I'm going to play again with them soon and see how it goes. I'll keep you updated. Thank you all for stopping by. If you like this video, remember to give it a like. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate your support. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye-bye.